All right, what is going on? Good people. Trying something a little different today. I hope y'all can hear me. I don't know. Feel free to leave a comment for me. Make sure you can hear me. I'm finally trying to break this news. Okay, I'm behind, but dang on, I'm trying to break this news from JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, the old Giants legend, and pretty good star player for Tampa Bay during their Super Bowl run, going to the Ravens. And what does this mean? Like, is this a big deal? Is this nothing? Is this just a random signing? They brought him in. The thing was, they brought him in, back in June, July. Felt like they was going to sign him because, they needed pass rushers. And then, especially with the direction they ended up going, right? With the direction they ended up going with only keeping two outside rushers, I'm kind of surprised they didn't sign him before the season started. And then over the past couple of weeks, of course, we know what happened with Tua. The 6 touchdowns against that Ravens defense that, for whatever reason, can't find pressure. And then on top of that, you got the week before where it felt like the Jets were kind of having a little bit of success. Maybe if they had a little bit more time, you never know what was going to happen with that defense. But I think too, like, the biggest part of that, right? The biggest part of that is last week's game. There's a lot to address. There's a lot to unpack, and some of it's just not. It's not just simply youth, right? So what does JPP going to the Ravens mean? Well, number one, it means my Madden Ultimate Theme team got 10 times better because now I got me a good rush on the edge. When they bring their throwback card out there, but realistically though, seriously though, I think he brings something to the team. Like, I think last year he had an off year. Last year was kind of an off year for JPP because he was hurt. He's been I want to say, and I don't have the stats in front of me. I don't even really know the stats like that. But like from what I've seen from JPP, he's been very much so consistent, right? For the most part. Like, worst case scenario, he gonna open up some things for Odafe Owe, and I think that's what the hope is, right? The hope is, kind of in the same way that you would bring in a veteran wide receiver to kind of give a little advice to your young wide receiving core. You could do that, but bringing in a veteran D lineman who's been there, done that. I heard Top Dylan talking about it today. I think sometimes, like, JPP has been around, like Jason Pierre-Paul, that man has been around for so long. Like, we forget. Jason Pierre-Paul played with, like, Justin Tuck and OCU Manure and all those guys. I can't remember the other dude. What was the guy's name? He had a crazy name. I'm blanking on it. But he played with that, like, the NASCAR package, right? That was the big infamous thing during that, 2011 Super Bowl run that they went on? That last one that they went on, man? Like, Jason Pierre-Paul has learned from some dudes, right? That really turned him probably into the stud that he ended up being from pretty much his second season on. So, he's won a couple of Super Bowl championships, so he's got that leadership. But I think he could be a good help. I think he probably has a little bit more left in him than a guy like Calais, right? So I think he'll bring a little bit more support when it comes to the pass rush. Because right now, the pass rush is almost non-existent outside of Justin Houston. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see what they do with Jason Pierre-Paul. Because the last couple of years, he's been playing outside linebacker too. And I don't remember him playing outside linebacker for the Giants. But, I'm not going to act like I religiously watched or covered the Giants back then either. So I know the Giants' defense was ridiculous, but I also know they had a huge like this big pool of talent when it came to the defensive line. That's how they could have the NASCAR package, like literally 4 DNs on the field at one time. Ridiculous. So I think Jason Pierre-Paul, just in this real quick thoughts type thing, I think Jason Pierre-Paul could be huge for the Ravens. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he gonna bring that veteran presence, but at the same time, like, I don't think he's done yet per se, right? I was watching, I think it was All 22 NFL Film was talking about it today. Like, it's kind of like a boxer. Like he's older, but like he's older. He may not have the speed, but like he still can use his hands really well, right? He still can, dip, make those dips really well to get past the, those offensive linemen. It'll be interesting to see because I mean, with him being signed so late in the week, literally what was it, Tuesday? With him being signed so late in the week, and then of course spending his physical on top of that, he wouldn't have practiced till Wednesday either way. So it'd be interesting to see like if he'll play this week. I don't think he will. I think it's similar to like Dez. You remember Dez came in. I mean, it really took forever for Dez to even get on the field, but Dez came in and he didn't play right away. So it'll be interesting to see if they go with, a snap count for him to kind of just, let's get his feet loose again, right? Let's get him going again. But at the same time, I want to see if they're going to, let him play like a little bit, right? Let him play like a little bit, or they might just wait till next week. Because, of course, after the New England game, not overlooking anybody by no means, but after the New England game, just looking ahead in the schedule, we got the Bills, right? We got the Bills. The Bills are a pretty good offensive line. Of course, we know the talent they got at receiver. We know how good Josh Allen is and can be. So that's a big deal. Now, for the Ravens this week, with the Patriots, I'm gonna do a separate video for the preview. But with the Ravens this week, with the Patriots, they got a good defense to face. So it'll be interesting to see how the Ravens play against a good defense, especially how their offense has been going as of late, and also to see if the defense can bounce back. The Ravens defense at least can bounce back. But as always, definitely hope you guys enjoyed. Jason Pierre-Paul is now a Raven. I'm happy because, I mean, my Ultimate Team about to be like that. But I'm hoping, the Ultimate Team becomes reality and we get some throwback Jason Pierre-Paul. Even some, like, first year because, I mean, he was pretty disruptive with the Buccaneers his first year. So to see what he's going to do, it is a little surprising that he's been out there for this long. But at the same time, I mean, Odell, I still feel like Odell's got stuff left in the tank. I know he's rehabbing off the torn ACL, but I still feel like he's got stuff left in the tank, and nobody signed him yet, to at least work him through or whatever. So I think it could be a similar situation, Jason Pierre-Paul coming off a little bit of an injury-riddled season, not nearly as bad as OBJ, but coming off an injury-riddled season, what can he do? What does he have left? The Ravens brought him in earlier in the season, and they thought about signing him. They didn't at that time, and then for some crazy reason, and it may have been why they kept only two outside, edge rushers or whatever, was because they knew they were going to swing back around and go grab Jason Pierre-Paul. Now, why they waited until week 3, I'm not sure. Right? It took Stephen Means getting hurt, which, I mean, I would say, in my personal opinion, Jason Pierre-Paul probably has a little more left in the tank than Stephen Means would have. But nonetheless, I mean, that could just be me going off of name value. I heard, our good friend Hendo over there talking on Ravens Online on Gatekeepers talking about, the name value and stuff like that. I'm not reading into that too much, but, I think considering what he's done in the league, considering what he could do, I think the potential's there. I think this is, honestly, bro, I think this is a low, let me think if I can get the analogy right? Low floor, high ceiling type thing, right? Like, worst case scenario, he does nothing, but you didn't have to sign him for too much. Best case scenario, he's a dog, right? He's a menace. He's getting after, and I think too, one of the crucial parts of JJ Watt's game back in the day, right? One of the crucial parts of his game was, it's not that I'm always going to get to the passer, but I'm going to be disruptive in any way that I can. And I think the Ravens defensive line has to get back to that. Just because you're not getting pressure, or just because you're not getting sacks, I should say, doesn't mean that your pressure doesn't mean anything, and doesn't mean you can't lift them hands up, and bat the ball down a little bit more than maybe that you do, right? Getting them passing lanes, getting the passing windows, and that can force some turnovers. But anyway, Jason Pierre-Paul is now a Raven. I'm hoping that it's going to be good. I would love to see him play this week. I just don't know if it's going to happen. But as always, Fly Nation Speaks is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and visually, of course, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, Facebook, stuff like that. You can watch, you can listen. Definitely hope you guys enjoyed. If you go into the game this week, let me know down below. Just love to hear about your experience. What you think about Jason Pierre-Paul? What you think about the game coming up with the New England Patriots? What does that mean? Like, can the Ravens bounce back after a tough and heartbreaking loss that I was at? Oh my goodness, we shall see. But as always, we'll see you guys on the next one. Until next